Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video. This is another request for Bronson. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. And he has another favorite list. He wanted my top 10 favorite Steve Martin films, but the problem is I can't think of 10. Just here's the thing with Steve Martin. Compared to other people, he didn't do a whole lot of movies. I mean, he's done movies. I haven't seen them all. So there, I mean, a lot of them are either films I haven't seen or films I'm like meh, or like he hasn't done a whole lot in like the past 20 years or so. And some of them I don't remember. Like I know of Father of the Bride, but I don't remember that movie. But yeah, when I had to look at this, probably only 7 or 8 movies I could maybe put on the list. Even that's dubious. Like easily number one is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Steve Martin and John Candy. It's one of my favorite comedies. It's got a lot of good heart to it, as well as a lot of genuine laughs. Steve Martin and John Candy were hand in hand in making that successful. They had a great chemistry with each other. Where's your other hand? Between two pillows. Those aren't pillows! Like I said, it had a good heart to it, but it didn't feel too soap opera melodramatic. Yeah, that great scene with Steve Martin getting mad and having to walk through a fucking highway and a fucking runway to get back here to see you smile on my fucking face. I want a fucking car right fucking now. Just him going off in it. We've all had those times where we wanted to be that way. And I thought Steve Martin played that perfectly. It's also seen this ballsy to do because I think that's the only reason it got an R rating. And without it, they would have gotten a different rating. But not a lot of movies today. It's like, well, we could get this, but if you do this one scene, you'll get an R. Fuck it, let's do it. Not many people would do that today. And John Hughes, director of The Breakfast Club, among others, did a nice job with the film. Definitely one of my favorite of the directors. Good, Thanksgiving movie, and a lot of people can relate to where anything that could go wrong does go wrong. So definitely that would be my favorite Steve Martin film. Number 2, I put Bullfinger. That's an Eddie Murphy, Steve Martin film. Not a lot of people talk about nowadays, but it's a good take on Hollywood. Steve Martin and his group of actors and such want to make a movie. So they kind of trick Eddie Murphy's character, who's a movie star, to be in it. They also hire his brother, also played by Eddie Murphy, who's a bit dirtier version. I like that version of Eddie Murphy. It was him playing a different character, but it's a very wholesome character who means well. He's just a bit awkward. I liked his interactions with Steve Martin's character. And just how the little tricks that they try to do to get this film made without one of their stars, the more famous Eddie Murphy character in this film, noticing. I think you also have Jamie Kennedy. He's in the film as part of the crew. I like Jamie Kennedy. Like I said, it's a fun take on making movies and how the Hollywood business works and all that stuff. And the scripts seem to be a bit smarter than usual, especially of that time. And yeah, definitely like Bullfinger. That's a fun one. Number 3, I put Little Shop of Horrors, one of the few musicals I like because I'm not a big musical guy, but that one was very catchy in its songs. Little shop of horrors, little shop of terror. Very catchy soundtrack. A one bit mean mother from outer space, yeah. Let's see what other songs you had. On Skid Row, that song. Suddenly Seymour is standing beside you. Just very catchy songs. Great work by Rick Moranis. I forget the actress's name. You had appearances by Bill Murray, John Candy. A lot of recognizable people in that. James Belushi. And of course Steve Martin as the dentist. I'll be your dentist. Just this complete sadistic dentist. And Steve Martin and Bill Murray. I think the only time I've seen them together in a film. Steve Martin and Bill Murray. And of course that Bill Murray's character was played by Jack Nicholson in the original Little Shop of Horrors that Roger Corman did. And this is like one of the few films Bill Murray did in his hiatus, because after Ghostbusters '84, he didn't do a film for like 4 years. And this is like one of the few things he did was this cameo here. So, yeah, very fun. I am glad they changed the ending. I know people love the original dark, the world just taking over ending. I thought that ending sucked. I think the ending they had in the theatrical was much, much better. And I get why audiences would have been pissed. Because you've had likable characters and charming upbeat songs, and yes, it's about a plant eating people, but the way it's done, and the way it was filmed, the way it was photographed, people wanted the heroic shit. They wanted them to live. It's a compliment. People actually liked your characters and they didn't want them to die. Usually the people want the opposite. So there you go. But yeah, Steve Martin, very fun as the evil, sadistic dentist. Number 4, I put L.A. Story. I've seen it once. I need to watch it again to get more details, but I remember that being very interesting, quirky comedy. I remember one time he's like wondering what to do, and he's looking at these like signs, not billboard, but these signs that kind of point him the way of where he needs to go. Something about that film just struck me at the right time. It's been a while since I've seen it. I've only seen it once, but I remember that being a pretty damn decent film, L.A. Story. Number 5, I put The Jerk. I mean, it's The Jerk. It's the cans. He's shooting these cans. Get away from these cans. Too stupid to not realize that he's getting shot at. The ending is kind of meh. Kind of just ends, but I still like that film. And then the others I put on there was The Big Year. Thought that was okay. It was Steve Martin, Jack Black, and Owen Wilson. And they're part of this group who try to find all these birds to watch throughout 1 year and this competition. It was harmless. I like the cast. I like the way they work together. And I don't know, just something about it. Just a harmless piece of entertainment. Nothing that really got me mad or anything. I'm like, okay, didn't mind it. Different type of concept. Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. I've probably only seen that film once. It's like Steve Martin in this detective comedy, and then they took footage from Humphrey Bogart and all these other movies. So it's like Steve Martin talking to Humphrey Bogart or all this other stuff. Thought that was very creative. I like Compound Enter the Fist more, which did that. But I remember liking Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. And I guess maybe Three Amigos, which it's there. I didn't hate the film, but it's there. And that's really hard to think of with Steve Martin, because I'm not a fan with The Man with Two Brains. Watson, I don't remember jack shit about other than he's got the big nose. And I forget it's based on the story. I forget what the name of the original story was. And like Father of the Bride, I don't remember. Let alone the sequel. They needed, what was it? Leap of Faith, I wasn't a fan of. Novocaine, I think he did one called that. I don't remember anything about that film. The Out of Towners, wasn't big on that remake. I much prefer the original with Jack Lemmon. House Sitter, I don't remember much. I know it's him and Goldie Hawn. Sergeant Bilko, maybe I will put that on the list because I have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sure, I'll put Sergeant Bilko on the list. It was harmless, but I don't remember much detail. But I remember being harmless, so okay, fine. I'll put Sergeant Bilko. And yeah, I don't remember much else. So there you go. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.